Alrighty. Should be live here momentarily. Should be live. Okay, so they've replaced Ravnik Extravaganza Supreme Draft with Modern Horizons Supreme Draft, and I'm very eager to play some of that tonight. But first, kind of as a warm up and I guess experiment, I've created something that, well, I'm not sure about. We'll put it that way. Um, this is modern Charbelcher. This is 4-land Charbelcher. And I'm not really sure how this is gonna go. um, let's see here. I need some sideboard tech for this. Actually, it probably is not that hard to come up with. Probably just Leyline of Sanctity in the sideboard. And then maybe... Oh, I know. We can do Nourishing Shoal for aggro, because we can exile our Chancellor of the Tangles to gain life. And then, like, maybe some Lightning Bolts or something. Hey, Six Sigma, how's it going? And also, it's not my birthday. Yeah. So I think this is a deck. This is a deck that I want to try playing. But I need to drink 24 ounces of alcohol to get this deck to work, I think. Oh, chat is supposed to be on screen. Thanks for calling that out. I make that mistake all the time. So this is the first deck I'm going to start by playing. Just in a couple of 2-mans to warm up. Then we'll probably play some Supreme Draft, because they've updated it to Modern Horizons. And then, depending on what time's left, we'll probably play some more Modern. I'm super, super stoked to be streaming right now. I wonder if any of the new YouTube viewers will be coming over to watch. Alright, Stream Decker is now set to be this horrendous Charbelcher deck. Oh yes, absolutely. That is the difference. So let's go ahead and fire up a 2-player queue with 4-land Belcher and see what happens. We won the die roll and get the option of playing first. I'll say yes. I actually think this is worth keeping. But I'm gonna powder this. This gets rid of one. This gets rid of 2 free mana sources and 1 land. So there's only 3 lands left in the deck. I think I gotta powder this as well. No green mana. We're gonna mulligan to 6. Also no green mana, but we're only 1 green mana away, or we're only 1 mana at all away from playing a Charbelcher. So I'm gonna keep this. We are going to put back Rosethorn Acolyte. Our opponent also mulliganed to 6, which is probably good news for us. So we'll start by cycling Street Wraith. Okay, we get an attune with Ether, and we're going to pass the turn. Really hoping and praying my opponent does not have Thoughtseize or a Counterspell. So we untap, we draw a Ritual. So Spirit Guide, Pyretic Ritual, Charbelcher. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. I knew from the moment I saw Flooded Strand, I just didn't say anything. Alright. We'll concede. Okay. Alright. The good news is we have much better opening hands than that. So we're going to bring in 4 Veil of Summer for the turn that we're going to drop Charbelchers. And I'm going to cut Rosethorn Acolytes, because frequently we need to filter from red into green, and not green into red. I want to try playing a deck with as little mana in it as possible. And I do have a manaless Dredge, or not manaless Dredge, but it's 3-land Spy is what it was. It's basically oops all spells, except you mill your whole deck with Balustrade Spy or Undercity Informer, and you then win by casting Unearth on Athasa's Oracle. It's just not very good. We're very close to having a manaless deck in Modern, which is kind of scary. I'm going to keep this. This has a redundant Charbelcher in it and multiple lands. So we are going to start with a forest and traverse the Ulvenwald. We are going to get a mountain. Okay, pass the turn. So we are going to wait until we have 3 mana to try and cast a Charbelcher. Okay, we untap. We draw a Desperate Ritual. So play a mountain, and we'll pass. We're going to wait 1 more turn, because we need what's it called? We need green mana after we Ritual. Okay, that technically counts. So start with Pyretic Ritual. Okay, that resolves. We'll play a Wild Cantor. Now we Desperate Ritual. Opponent Spell Snares. We'll Veil of Summer. If you want to see the deck, just exclamation point deck. Alright, opponent does have double Counterspell, which is unfortunate. We'll pass. I don't know why they would try and counter so early, but alright, pass the turn. Nissa's Triumph, not going to be super useful here. Not yet, anyway. Opponent also passes. We get an attune with Ether, so we're going to do that. Opponent Aether Gusts. We'll leave it on top. We're not going to mind redrawing that. Opponent will not cast Uro or anything of the like as long as they have counter spells anywhere in their hand. So we untap, we draw a tune, try and attune, get a forest, play a forest, pass the turn. Opponent Growth Spirals to Cantrip. They play a Misty. Welcome, West. I figured you guys would enjoy a little modern 4-land Charbelcher. Opponent says we can no longer search our library. How devious, opponent. How dare you exile cards from my graveyard? That is rude. We untap. We draw Edge of Autumn. So we Desperate Ritual. Cast Charbelcher. No, stop. We're so close. We could Edge of Autumn if my opponent did not play Ashiok. They only have one card in hand, though. So if we draw a Simian Spirit Guide, we can land Belcher. Alright, I'll wait one more turn. Opponent obviously does not like us having fun. Alright, we untap. We draw. Caravan Vigil, which doesn't really make any difference. We'll pass. Yeah, Bones set that one up. But it mills us again. So we're running out of cards that are okay to draw. But our opponent only has 2 cards in hand. Another Charbelcher. Alright, pass the turn. If it becomes apparent that we're going to die in a hurry, we can at least cycle an Edge of Autumn on our own turn, just to see. Okay. We take 2 and go to 18. We untap. We draw Serum Powder. Ooh, that's another mana. Play Serum Powder. The worst of our mana rocks, but still relevant. You're kidding. Alright, it gets cryptic. We're actually getting into a big problem area where if our opponent gets another Ashiok or can otherwise mill us, yeah, we lose now with a Mystic Sanctuary. It really depended on whether or not, because they hadn't drawn any additional cards up until that point. They've been top decking a lot of lands. If they hadn't top decked another counterspell, we actually could have untapped and killed them. But such was not the case. We are so close to a no land list for Charbelcher. So close. Honestly, if we could get away without the mountain, this deck would be so much better. But the problem is, like, we always need to filter from red to green and never green to red. You know, the flip lands will make Belcher a deck. Because the front half of them is all that matters. And the front half of those tap lands isn't a land. Everybody buy your Charbelchers now. Oh man, that's gonna be fun. Maybe not, but like, because you choose which half to play when you play the card. And I also think, if I know you're specifically asking about the duels, Joest, you pick one side and it comes in untapped, and that's the land it taps for. We are now an MTG finance stream. Absolutely not. Do not take financial advice from me. The dual land specifically that you choose one half of, they come in untapped and they produce one color, is what the fetch lands were supposed to be. Like functionally. And I actually really like them as a dual land. I think they'll be very nice. Oh, the spell tap lands are in that question too. Well, spell tap lands might make Charbelcher a deck, especially because there are lots of green and red ones, and the green and red ones are good. Like the red one, the front half is a wheel. The green one, one of the green ones, the front half is a 3-mana Recollect, which would be great picking up cards out of the grave. I really like the mechanic. I think it's very clever. And I hope that they don't stick it on cards that are too powerful. And I really hope that the theoretically spoiled on Reddit censor that if it is paid for and resolves turns into a rampant growth is not real. I really hope that is not real. There are some like dual masters comparisons that you can make with these lands, and I think as long as they don't or as long as they don't increase deck consistency too much. Well, WotC designed Duel Masters, which is a game where every single card can be played as either it's a land or a spell. So they actually, I have confidence that they know how to balance such a game, because that game I believe is still ongoing in Japan. And I hope that they kind of use some of their resources on that, being like, hey, is this a dumb idea? But also, yes, WotC tends to not have been doing as well for the health of the game lately, I think. Just judging by the number of bans. Not a command WotC recognizes. Alright, we're going to do one more 2-man with this. And then we're going to try Modern Horizons Supreme Draft. And then we're going to play Modern after that. Oz, welcome to the stream. I just noticed your name pop up in chat. So this gets us to 3 mana, which is 1 less than we need for Charbelcher. Oh, man. First meal of the day at 8:30. That's rough. I don't think I can powder this. I think I have to mulligan this if I mulligan. We're very close, but we only have 3 red mana and not 4. We can cast a Serum Powder, but that gets us nowhere. We're just going to mulligan. Okay. This hand is better than it looks. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to put back a Serum Powder. Beer's pretty filling. An argument can be made. Opponent starts Verdant Catacombs. The good news is we have redundancy for hand hate here. It's also why I'm glad I did not keep the other hand. Best card our opponent could take right now is Caravan Vigil. By far and large. So I recently realized that we hadn't changed our air filter in our townhome that we're renting for a while, because the air filter they installed and the air filter they sent us as a replacement were the wrong size. So they're kind of like wedged in there at an angle, and they weren't really doing anything. And we swapped it out. They sent us a new one that was like flexible and adjustable, and it like perfectly was able to wedge over the area that it's supposed to, and the air quality down here is way better. Surprise, surprise. We draw Ironcrag Feet. So play a forest, play Wild Cantor, sack for green, Caravan Vigil for a forest to the battlefield, attune with Ether, get a mountain, Pass the turn. Now we just need to top deck a Charbelcher and we're good to go. Caravan Vigil is really good in these like 3 to 7 land decks, especially with Wild Cantor. We have no need for our graveyard, so Scavenging Ooze not really a threat. Simian Spirit Guide we could just cast. It's probably incorrect. We'll play Serum Powder. Pass the turn. I also tried playing a version of this deck that did the broken, like, free mana ramp into As Foretold. The problem was that's way too slow. And casting 1 free spell a turn isn't enough. Okay, opponent plays a Shambling Vent. They eat a Wild Cantor out of our grave, and they do it again. And they get in for 4. We untap. We draw Desperate Ritual. Okay. Now all we have to do is draw Charbelcher. The problem is there are no 1-mana spells that search for non-basic forests except for Safe Right Quest, which is a white-green hybrid 1-mana spell. And the only other one that can is Treefolk Harbinger, and that puts it on top of your deck, not in your hand. So the problem becomes if you can't consistently get the non-basic land out of your deck, which sucks. There's no Nature's Lore or Land Grant in Modern, so it's happening. We did it. Although this may not kill my opponent. We have 1 land left in the deck, and it can't be in the top 12 cards. It's not my birthday, Oz. Oh, this kills them. This gets rid of our last land. Our opponent dies. Oh, we no longer have to worry about a land in our deck. Boom. Gotcha, Jund. Or Abzan. Well, the problem is they had to kill our Charbelcher, but they needed to do it after we what do you call it? Kano won. I almost feel like that command should be that punt was a field goal attempt. Feel like that would be a better use. But I don't know these things. I'm not a meme master. We're going to drop Rosethorn Acolyte, as that is by far our worst spell. Hopefully replacing that with a Leyline of Sanctity. Alright. Powder, Mulligan, or keep. If we keep, we have Leyline. We can cycle Street Wraith. But we don't have any free mana here. I think we have to powder this hand. But we lose a Charbelcher and a Feat if we do that. We're going to powder. This lets us filter into colorless with Leyline backup. We're 1 mana away, but we have to use the mana in our... I'm powdering again. Alright, we're going to mulligan. Because now we have very few cards left in our deck. And I think I can make this hand work. I'll keep this hand. And we're going to put back a Desperate Ritual. So the biggest problem with this hand is that my opponent has Hand Hate. So they start Concealed Courtyard. Thoughtseize. Their best pick here is either Caravan Vigil or Wild Cantor. They could also take Street Wraith if they want, but I don't know that they would. Seven land Belcher, it's way more reasonable to run Ancient Stirrings than this deck. Yes, I knew you were going to ask as soon as you looked at the deck list. The 4-land version does not have enough hits for Ancient Stirring. You can hit Serum Powder, Charbelcher, or one of the 4 lands, and I don't think it's enough. Maybe I should test with it, but we'll see. I think you're right in that there might not be enough free draws to actually get that to work. So, Forest, Spirit Guide, cast Edge of Autumn, and we'll get a Mountain. That would definitely be better for the 7-land version. The problem with 7 lands is you have to get all of them out of your deck to reliably kill your opponent. Okay, Manamorphose. We'll go red-green. Play a Wild Cantor. Crack for green. Caravan Vigil. Okay, Battlefield. Play Wild Cantor. Pass the turn. Is there some middle ground between the two? It's possible that having a 5-land or 6-land. No, I totally think what you're asking is fair, and I understand where you're coming from and why you're asking. I'm not offended. I think it is possible that you might want somewhere between 4 and 7 land. The problem is this version of the deck is a lot more explosive because it runs less lands. And the other versions won't be. It is a little awkward. Ideally, if you could get it down to like 1 land, it would be fantastic. But there's not enough rituals in Modern to make that work. At least, I don't think so. The only ritual that I'm not running that's still a ritual, technically, is Channel the Suns, which I've tried to make work in Green-Red Storm before. But, I suspect we need one more ritual of some kind for a deck like that to actually exist. So our opponent is just going to try and beat down before we draw a ritual and a Charbelcher. Alright, we draw Nissa's Triumph, so we get our last forest. There are no more forests. So if we can Manamorphose into red-red and draw Charbelcher, we would win. Your work computer blocks Gatherer. They are actually starting to, they are putting out a new VPN where I work, because the old VPN is kind of garbage. But after connecting to the new one, it will enforce policies that prevent you from logging into any non-work approved site, which is really, really interesting how they're going to actually manage this, because people in my position constantly have to Google and go all over the freaking internet, and whitelisting sites is a pain because our IT department is somewhat substandard. I would know. I work with them all the time. I guess I'm technically a part of it too, but... Alright, we did not draw Manamorphose into Charbelcher, so we lose. Okay, do we want to make any last adjustments? Being on the play, Veil of Summer actually is really tempting because we can counter, what's it called? Hand hate with it, but I don't think we need it. My work tried doing that. And IT got so overburdened with, like, you have to unblock this particular YouTube URL. Like, we literally put in 75 tickets in a day. And that process is all manual because they're kind of garbage at it. And they don't have it automated, so... And it required a big, like, corporate review, and, like, they have to pass it through this audit process, and I'm like... So they just whitelisted YouTube. They're like, you know, just don't use non-work approved YouTube links. But of course, my work laptop sits on my desk with my home laptop, so it's not like they could really stop me from looking up something if I had to. So we are going to get our mountain, I think. Yeah, we'll get our mountain here. Okay. Pass the turn. If we draw one ritual, we can cast a Charbelcher. But we need to get to 7 mana to actually kill our opponent with it. Yeah. It's always fun when you can circumvent red tape or prove that, you know, the red tape being in place is just dumb. So we're going to Manamorphose into red-green and draw a card. Okay, we're going to Manamorphose again into red-green. Gets us from 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. Okay, we're just going to play Wild Cantor and pass. I want to have enough mana that I can play and activate Charbelcher. Oh, I had a new idea for a deck. Something horrible inspired me. And I don't know if anybody remembers my terrible Gate Shift combo deck, but the way that that deck worked... okay, we're not going to attack, we're just going to pass. Hopefully my opponent does not have a kill spell for this Leyline into Hand Hate. Which just looks exactly what's happening here. Okay, we'll get a Forest. Pass the turn. If this is Lily, they lose. If this is Ashiok, they lose. Oh, what was I saying? Yes. So, Gate Shift, which was Scape Shift with Guild Gates, and you won with Maze's End, and you used Amulet of Vigor to untap all of your lands to make Scape Shift this huge ritual, right? So, I can't believe it. We're actually going to kill our opponent, I think. Pyretic Ritual, Ironcrag Feet. Play Charbelcher. Activate, targeting our opponent. Rest at the bottom in any order. Go to combat. And attack our opponent. So there's only one land left in our deck. Our opponent has to have removal for Charbelcher immediately or they lose. I guess one of those rituals was actually superfluous, and that was very bad to actually cast. But if you took... We could combine Scape Shift and Tron and Amulet of Vigor, and you could Scape Shift to get a whole bunch of Tron lands. And then... then you could untap them to Amulet of Vigor, cast Coax from the Blind Eternities, and get Emrakul out of your sideboard to kill your opponent. I really want to build that deck. Okay. That time we got him. Nice. We actually beat a tier deck with Charbelcher. Can't believe I'm about to say this, but you might be going too far. Well, think about it. You could play Simic Control. So, like, there's a competitive advantage to doing so. You could run things like Growth Spiral and Uro and Force of Negation. And then Amulet of Vigor, Scape Shift into Tron as a huge wins 3 games. Let's Scape Shift into Tron. I mean, that would be awesome, though, wouldn't it? I think it'd be dirty. But maybe that's a better... Maybe some kind of like bounce landy Genesis Wave Amulet of Vigor deck is possible. And my excuse to play that instead of bounce land combo would be bounce land combo is expensive, and this would almost certainly be budget. All right, we're gonna go cool my brewing head for a moment. We're gonna play a Modern Horizons Supreme draft. I hope Opie is pissed. He probably is. Okay, so Supreme draft. 2 picks out of 18 packs, and this time it's Modern Horizons. Mist Syndicate Naga is an excellent, like, we should definitely play the ninja deck. And I'll take the Venomous Changeling as well, because it's also a ninja. Pack 2. There's an Undead Augur, a Settle Beyond Reality, Silent Clearing, and a Battle Screech. I probably should take Battle Screech because it just wins limited games. Silent Clearing is also really good, and we're super early in our draft, so like we don't have to be ninjas. There is a Phantom Ninja though, and there is an Undead Augur, which I'm kind of sad to pass up both of those. Maybe I shouldn't take Silent Clearing and should instead take Settle Beyond Reality, but I'm gonna do this. Talisman can be good. I just didn't evaluate it as highly as those other cards. So maybe I should take that as a higher pick next time. Pack 3. We have Eladamri's Call. I call it Eladmarie, but I'm switching around the M and the A, and Six Sigma pointed this out. It's Eladamri's Call. So if we're playing oh, Six Sigma, I'm sorry. So if we're playing a Battle Screech deck, we definitely want Answered Prayers. I'm trying to remember this format. We definitely want Answered Prayers. I don't think I want to be running green, and I think I want Ephemerate. I think we want to be doing nasty things with creature enters the battlefield triggers. Okay. Now, we have a black-white fixing land. There's a foil Sunbaked Canyon. I don't think we want Tectonic Reformation. Lava Belly Sliver could be playable. We could play the Changelings. We're in the right colors for that. There's also Mob. Mob is pretty good. I'm pretty sure I'm going to take Sunbaked Canyon. The question is, what is the second card I take out of this pack? Lava Belly Sliver is not bad. Neither is Mob. Stirring Address, we could take Azusa. Everyone in college that I played with called him Asuza. But that's the Z and S are being flipped around when they say that. So Azusa. Alright. Sunbaked Canyon for sure. I'm just going to take Lava Belly Sliver because this is too much for my brain. Ooh, another Battle Screech. So I'll take a Battle Screech. Imposter of the Sixth Pride is a Sliver, and so is a regular cohort. I think I like a regular cohort a little bit better on average. Simply because it goes well with Ephemerate, it works well with Lava Belly Sliver, it's multiple white creatures for Battle Screech. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, now we have a Force of Despair. What angel was in that pack? Sorry. I wasn't paying as much attention as I probably should. So we are probably, Segovian Angel, yes. Yes, Segovian Angel is pretty decent if we were aggressive. So we're probably red-white at our core, with the possibility of splashing black. Pyrophobia is not a bad removal spell. It's actually quite good in an aggressive deck. The question is whether we would rather have Recruit the Worthy or Trustworthy Scout, or a Snow-Covered Plains. White is a color that does not use snow mana very much, unless we have the 1-mana white snow removal on Thin Ice. So I think we take Pyrophobia, and I think we take Recruit the Worthy. Trustworthy Scout's not bad, but it involves paying a lot of mana, and Recruit the Worthy is something to do late game if we get there, despite being just a 1/1 with Flash for 1. So we're going to take those two. Spooky, scary Skelementals are something, something, something. I would take Skelemental, but we are not base red. I mean, I guess that could change. I do want Lancer Sliver. That one's for sure. You know what? I'll take the Skelemental and we'll see what happens. Okay, we've got Martyr Soul, which is a pretty good creature for our deck, as well as Ephemerate. Ice Fang Quaddle being double off color is almost certainly out of the question. So I think we're just going to take Martyr Soul and Ephemerate. They also kind of work well together, though not amazingly so. There's a Force of Negation. It's too bad we did not go for the whole Ninjas plan, because Force of Negation in the Ninjas deck is actually really good. Reprobation is decent removal. Oh, Volatile Claws. Good call. Ooh, okay. Question. Volatile Claws or Cleaving Sliver? Actually, Reprobation or Cleaving Sliver. I think we go Volatile Claws and Cleaving Sliver instead of Reprobation. I'm going to do that. Good call. Holy crap. How do I pick these cards? We have to take Giver of Runes. That's a given. Can we take a Skelemental? Can we have multiple Skelementals? Oh, if I take multiple Skelementals, I'm going to start taking every Unearth I see. Imposter? I like Imposter because we don't have enough 2-drops, but there's also an irregular cohort. Red-white slivers? Alright. We'll do Imposter. I agree that if we're taking another one, we should probably take Imposter. Kind of sad that there's a Lava Dart in this pack, though. Morphadron! The Boundless. Goatnap is definitely not bad. I don't think we can actually play Morphadron. It would be fun. I think we take an Imposter here, and probably King of the Pride. King of the Pride gives all of our Changelings +2/+1, which is quite good. There's also Igneous. Actually, we have 2 Sacklands, and there's an Igneous Elemental. I have not personally, playing this format in Sealed and in Draft, I have never been a fan of Birthing Bows. It is almost universally too expensive. If I was an aggressive deck playing Birthing Bows, I have lost by the time it's good. I agree that it does present really awesome infinite value, but I have not played a game long enough for it to be good. And that's just personal experience for me. So I'm going to take Imposter and I'm going to take Igneous Elemental. Okay. So we're still being aggressive here. I think the plan is to take Lancer Sliver, because we do want lots of slivers and we'd like lots of changelings. And I think either Orcish Hellraiser or Goblin Champion. Hellraiser Goblin Champion is hysterical design. It is. Actually, I played a deck that had 6 of them, and they were really good in that many multiples in regular limited. It was absolutely crazy. We're going to take Lancer Sliver for sure. The question is, what is the other card we take out of this pack? We do want cheap creatures, and we need creatures with Enter the Battlefield effects. But there's none in this pack. I think I take Orcish Hellraiser, simply because it's aggressive and we need more 2-drops. Okay. We have, in this pack, Lancer Sliver, again, Wing Shards, which is good, but generally is defensive. We could splash black for Cabal Therapist or Mob. Chant? Oh, Nature's Chant? It's probably not bad to have one. There's also a Goblin War Party, which is an Anthem effect. And we do have Ephemerate, so this is actually kind of playable. If something enters the battlefield, we can give them all haste off of Ephemerate, is what I mean. Yeah, we'll take these two. Okay, another Pyrophobia. I'm pretty keen to pick that up, and another Cleaving Sliver, because that's going to be one of our big payoffs. So we'll take those two. Altar of Dementia. Altar of Dementia is an alternative win condition, as far as I'm concerned. So here's the problem. We have multiple good cards in this pack. We have 14 creatures, 10 non-creatures. Does Vesperlark hit well? Not in this deck. It'd be insane if we were... Oh no, it's power 1 or less, not toughness. Never mind. I kind of want another Pyrophobia, because I really like the effect, and I really want another Igneous Elemental, but because the card is just so good, but the problem is we only have the sack lands to turn it on, and I think only one is correct. Knight of Old Benalia is not bad, as it's something to do on turn 1 that ends up being aggressive, but we have multiple Cleaving Slivers and a lot of other slivers, and Altar of Dementia is just, I think, a good sack outlet. I'm going to try taking Altar of Dementia. Goatnap, Ephemerate number 3, and there's a lot of good cards in this pack, but those are the ones I'm going to end up taking. Okay, Spiteful Sliver. Whenever this creature is dealt damage, it deals that much to target player or planeswalker. Well, that's how we swing in with Reckless Abandon in red-white, so we're going to take it, and we're going to take regular Cohort. Second to last pack, what do we have? Changeling Outcast, which we could splash. We do have a Silent Clearing, and black would be our next played color, which could give us justification to play Skelemental, which is a very strong finisher card. There's also an Astral Drift, but we do not have any cycling, and I don't think it's really meant for the deck that we're playing right now. Reprobation's kind of medium. I think I take Lancer Sliver and Changeling Outcast. I'm going to do that. Astrolabe, we have no snow mana whatsoever. We can take Cleaving Sliver and Enduring Sliver, though, for our last picks. Outlast is you pay 2 mana and tap it, put a 1/1 counter on it. It was the Abzan mechanic from Khans of Tarkir. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with these two. You can only Outlast as a sorcery, which is one reason why the mechanic is not that great. Okay, so... Battle Screech is a creature as far as I'm concerned. Technically, so is Recruit the Worthy. I need to cut 8 cards. We have 4 Lancer Slivers. Oh gosh. Okay, well... Let's try cutting most of our non-sliver permanents, shall we? So that means Skelemental, Hellraiser, Igneous Elemental. Battle Screech is too good to cut. We'll cut War Party. Probably Ephemerates for now. Actually, I want 1 Ephemerate. Outcast, yeah, we don't need to run black. Recruit the Worthy we can bring in for the long game. And then... Martyr Soul. Because while Martyr Soul does... how good is removal in this format? Pyrophobia, I'm going to argue, is really good in an aggressive deck because there are so many changelings, and it says cowards can't block this turn, which means changelings can't block this turn. So I'm going to go with that. I'll play Sunbaked Canyon, Silent Clearing. 9 and 5. It wants me to run 6 red sources. Oh, Ephemerate blanks removal is why you're asking? I think it's good enough to warrant running 1 Ephemerate, and probably not 2 unless we run into some pretty heavy resistance. Pretty heavy removal. I'm going to cut a plains and run one additional mountain. I think I want 7 red sources instead of 6. All right. Let's do it. See if I remember how to play this game. I only did like 14 or 15 episodes of Modern Horizons Limited on my channel, but they were before I made all of the audio quality improvements, so my apologies to anyone that goes and watches them. I'm going to keep this hand. We've got a 2, a 3, and a 4 into Flashback Battle Screech, which is pretty sweet. Start plains, pass the turn. Oh yeah, Giver of Runes is amazing. Being able to give protection from like any color plus colorless to everything but itself is fantastic for the purposes of swinging in. Alright, we draw a Cleaving Sliver. So, play Imposter, pass the turn. We can go Imposter, Lancer, Cleaving. Is really the kind of thing I want to be doing. Okay, opponent plays a Swamp. Very uncharacteristic for a person whose name is Elfball99. They ransack the lab. Big brain play, playing different colors of lands first. Oh, we're sending a message. I am telegraphing to my opponent what is about to happen. Mainly because I expect them to fear it. We draw Answered Prayers. So, Answered Prayers, I think we're going to go for the long game. The Sliver plan right now is too good to pass up. Attack for 3, take them to 17. Look at that. They're playing mono black. The nerd. Oh, never mind. They're playing Dimir. This is probably ninjas. If I had to guess, it's ninjas. Plague Engineer. Don't you dare. Don't you do it. He did it. Can't believe he did it. Play a Plains. Play Cleaving Sliver. Attack for 3. We still have big first striking slivers, so. Never will name bird. Fair. That is fair. We're going to cast an Answered Prayers next turn and probably crack our Sunbaked Canyon looking for more spells. Oh no. Our opponent played a Crypt Rats. That's a board wipe. Okay. They go down to 13 and then can attack for 2. We untap, we draw a regular cohort, which is less good with an Answered Prayers out, but... I mean, which is less good with a Plague Engineer out, excuse me. Play Sunbaked Canyon, pass the turn. I'm going to crack this to draw on my opponent's end step. Okay. They play a Simic Talisman. I'm saying that because I've drank like 20 ounces of 8% alcohol. Opponent attacks for 2, takes us to 15. Ninjutsu's a Moonblade Shinobi like a chump. Sacrifice Sunbaked Canyon, get a Lancer Sliver. Untap. The problem now is that my opponent will be able to rename with Plague Engineer. So we're going to play a Mountain, play a regular cohort. And we're going to get in for 3. Hopefully my opponent just renames Sliver. It is not my birthday. We do not need more birthday commands. I need to get around to adding more emotes. I need a birthday emote. I need probably a laugh or a keck emote. I need We're doing this to hide the fact we have birds, by the way. Opponent name's Angel. Your face is an emote. Alright, opponent attacks for 4. I'm not gonna double block. They can have a 1/1 flying. Oh, jeez. We're gonna take 4. Azra Smoke Shaper. I'm glad I didn't block. Let me put it that way. They get an illusion. Alright. We untap. Play a mountain. Battle Screech. Caw. Battle Screech. Caw. Attack for 2. In the air. Now the problem is if my opponent has another ninjutsu creature and can pick up Plague Engineer, we are screwed. So I will block Plague Engineer 100%. Cunning Evasion. No! No! I can't block Plague Engineer anymore because that guaranteed puts it back in their hand. I suppose I could block all 3, but that just lets my opponent more intelligently sculpt what's happening. So we're just going to take the damage and let our opponent make a blocker. Oh, you have more ninjas? What are you doing? Ugh, they pick up Plague Engineer and play another Azra Smoke Shaper. Yeah, Wolf is right. They replay Plague Engineer on Bird, which is still equally bad for us. We untap, we draw a mountain, and concede. That's a hell of a ninja deck. Hey T-Rex, how's it going? We are playing Modern Horizons Supreme Draft. So we get 18 packs and 2 picks from each to build a 40-card deck, all Modern Horizons. So I don't think we have any sideboard for this. We're just going to run it back. We basically just lost to Plague Engineer, which sucked a lot, by the way. Alright, we'll play first. We do need more than 1 land. I got a mulligan. This I can keep, I think. I gotta put back probably Volatile Claws. Opponent also mulligan to 6. Start mountain, pass the turn. Opponent plays an island. They have a habit of tapping their lands. Play Enduring Sliver. Pass the turn. If I was to progress my channel more, what type of content would you like to see as far as style goes? Like, are you asking what I would like to produce? And are you asking short term or long term? Play a Plains. We've got to play the Lancer Sliver here. Okay, get in for 2. So short term, I kind of like what I'm doing. I like doing lots of constructed content, and I'd like doing lots of limited content. It actually is all interesting to me right now. I feel like I can brew in Modern again, and it's not, horrible. Long term, like if I started making it real big, I would like to go back to doing meme videos, but I would have to have some help editing them. So long term, if I started to get real big and had a regular income from doing this, I would hire an editor and work with them to make meme content like I used to, in addition to, what I'm making right now. Because I can definitely pump out 1 video a day, no problem. I have the time in the morning before I go to work to do that. But I just don't have the time to... I think there's a big fly flying around down here, and I'm not sure where it came from. But I just noticed this dark shadow fly around, and it kind of freaked me out for a second. Stop playing Mana Wars. Okay. We need to draw land. Perfect. Play Lancer Sliver, go to combat. Attack for 2. But it does not block. And we'll deal with the Flying Mana War. People evidently really like Tron content, and in specific, really like my Tron content. And I don't know... I have an understanding of why, but I'm not sure exactly why, if that makes sense. A lot of people have been watching my Tron content because apparently I talk strategy more than a lot of other people do, or I talk specific strategy that people seem to care about. Which I guess makes sense. It's just I never expected that to be interesting to people, at least in the way that I produced it. So we're going to play irregular cohort, and we're going to outlast Enduring Sliver. We're not going to outlast Lancer Sliver yet, because we want... meme Tron content as your godsend? Maybe. Depends on how cerebral it is, I guess. I would actually... Maybe I should make a meme Tron video. That might be fun. But it's got to have something meme worthy, right? Limited Tron is fun because limited Tron, any kind of crazy crap can happen. Who knows? Opponent has 2 black mana to spend on Crypt Rats. We're gonna sack a land and draw. Let's see what we get. Lancer Sliver. So play a mountain. Outlast here. Outlast here. Pass the turn, no attacks. Take yourself way too seriously. Alright, we're going to play around Aquatech's Will. By playing Chalice on 1. Now Crypt Rats takes out 2 of their creatures if they have to use it as a board wipe. But we can outlast basically our whole board. I was thinking more along the lines of, oh shoot, actually I don't even know. We're not going to play any snowlands in our Tron deck to play around Arctic foxes. Stuff like that. An expensive card that does something cool, but it's too expensive to see play. Possessed Portal. If you want to play a stacks deck, that's the 8 mana ultimate stacks card. Unexpected results? In Tron? I had an idea for T-Rex. I had an idea I was talking to Six Sigma about for using Scapeshift and Amulet of Vigor to scapeshift your regular lands into Tron pieces and to get them to untap and make like a big ritual for mana, and using Coax from the Blind Eternities or Karn Great Creator to take stuff out of the sideboard. Alright, opponent attacks with their 4-power creature. We draw Cleaving Sliver, which does make our decision for us. So play Cleaving Sliver. Go to combat. And attack. Opponent can Crypt Rats X1 or X2, but they'll take damage on that exchange. Wait, so Saffron Olive played Simic Tron with unexpected results in it. I don't know if that's good or not. Although Tron would be the deck that wanted unexpected results as an effect. They're the one that plays 7 mana Karn and whatnot. Opponent pings everything for 1. They're still taking 6 here, though. I think, anyway. No. Yes. Anyway, play Giver of Runes, pass the turn. I've got the feeling that there are several really stupid broken broken synergies, not necessarily artifact synergies, but really stupid broken interactions that exist in Modern. Links are allowed, yes, I believe. I think I turned the auto moderating off on MTG bot. Yes, links are allowed. I get links all the time. What am I saying? Well, it apparently has ninjutsu. Okay. That is for 1. Make an illusion. Then replay Azra Smokeshaper. I would have expected them to hold that in hand, but I guess it's not really beneficial to do that right now. Spiteful Sliver. How long ago was this? Oh, a couple years now. Okay. You know what? I could see this working. I could see this working. So, Battle Screech. And Battle Screech. Pass the turn. I think I want to brew with this. I really think I do. I have most of the cards, I think. I don't know why I didn't outlast one of my dudes there. So we'll play Spiteful Sliver. And we're going to outlast a regular cohort. And pass the turn. Opponent plays a Cunning Evasion. They attack us for 2. No blocks, we'll take 2. We untap. We draw Battle Screech. Go to combat. Attack like this. Math is for blockers. They gotta block at least one more. Okay. Opponent takes a lot of damage. I have 2 copies of Jace the Mind Sculptor. I think he's come way down in price, actually. Yeah, they're only like $8 a piece now. Okay. Cast Battle Screech. Pass the turn. We now have enough blockers. And protection from 1 piece of removal. Spuna goes to combat. Attacks, attacks, attacks. Well, block, block, block. Teamer unexpected results that used Simic, Ramp, and Breach. Not a bad idea, actually. Have I seen any dubious challenge lists? Yes, with the Flicker Wisps and what's that creature that's like you gain control of all of your permanents when you enter or at the end of your turn or whatever it is. Yeah, I'm aware of dubious challenge. I never had much luck playing it though. I will say that much. Spuna replays Plague Engineer on Bird. But they just like die, don't they? Azra Smokeshaper. Sure. We can just give something protection from black and attack, right? It does, but it's not modern legal, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on how you look at that. I believe those are the only two that do the whole shuffle the deck and play without. Little did you know, it was busted out of the gate. Classic Kano not sideboarding. We don't have sideboard for this deck. Urza? Oh yeah, I totally forgot about Urza. Is he still worth money? Yeah, he's still $13 a piece. The red budget deck was so funny. You liked no sideboard, red? I was like, I need a deck I can play fast, and I need a reason to play it. So I was like, let's go with a budget. And how about Kuldotha Red? And it turns out that it's actually kind of competitive. This hand is too slow, which is really unfortunate. I want to try and put out a different video every time I make a Tron video. Mainly to keep people like Oz happy. Yeah, we gotta go to 5. Okay. Back mountain. And mountain. Almost 3-2'd with that list. And if I had gotten lucky enough, I could have 5-0'd. Just because of how that deck works. Like, if you have the nuts hand in that deck, you basically win. I wonder what Wizards would do if they were like, this guy 5-0'd without a sideboard on Moto. That'd get your list published for sure. Not to mention, we were wailing on, like, you know, $1,500 Tron, not Tron, but like $1,500 Jund lists with $7 red deck. Okay, opponent plays a swamp. Sultai colors, they're casting something. Crows and Tusker, they're cycling Crows and Tusker. Has my opponent been Sultai this entire time? I thought they were just Dimir. They attack for 2. We draw Silent Clearing, play a Plains, pass the turn. They play Winding Way. They probably name non-land. Chooses creature. They get a Rot Widow pack. Okay, they attack for 2. Makes sense. We untap and draw Ephemerate. So play Silent Clearing. Play Irregular Cohort. Super cheap deck, $1. I think that red deck is as close as you can get. I don't know how you could get that. If you could, I think. Hang on. Let me look at my decks here. You might be able to get that red deck down to $1. You can do that in Commander, yes. Yes, that is possible in Commander. If you didn't count the cost of any lands you played, and you cut Simian Spirit Guide and Goblin Guide, I think you could probably get that red deck under $1 and still have it be competitive. Somewhat. It would be less competitive, obviously, but like, I think you could build red for $1 if you tried hard enough. Alright, we draw Plains, which is the perfect card here. So, play No, actually. Play Battle Screech. We're going to mill our opponent out. Flashback Battle Screech. On our opponent's end step, we're going to ephemerate our irregular cohort. Just provided, of course, they don't play Plague Engineer for the 45th time in a row. Okay, opponent plays a Swamp. Smoke Shroud, okay. You have a Smoke Shroud. Okay, on my opponent's end step, we will ephemerate the irregular cohort. If my opponent has a counter spell or a kill spell, this is significantly bad. However, if this resolves, we just win. Okay, they have Mob. Yep. That does counter our ephemerate. It's also possible I should have just saved the ephemerate, but if we ephemerated there and they had nothing, they lost. We draw Plains, play a Plains, play Cleaving Sliver. Go to combat. Attack for 8. Take our opponent to 8. Okay, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a land. Fact or fiction in the main phase. We'll put Webweaver Changeling, First Sphere Gargantua, and a Swamp in the same pile. Should have milled with Alter in response to Mob? Yes, I should have. We could have milled our opponent for 2 cards. I should have done that. You are correct. Okay, they take Crypt Rats and Talisman. We can mill our opponent for 12. We do need to crack Silent Clearing here. Easy way to create infinite black mana in Modern? Yes, there is. The problem is it's irrelevant. Like, it's just, how do I put this? Combo into Crypt Rats would be funny, because it kills both players. Alright, we'll sack the Changeling, mill our opponent for 4. So, the only way I know off the top of my head to get infinite black mana, besides the like obvious Paradox Engine, Dice Factory shenanigans, would be you can you can play Spellweaver's Helix, exiling Dark Petition and Raven's Crime. And as long as you have spell mastery, you can discard a land, cast Raven's Crime, make your opponent discard, copy Dark Petition, tutor up a land, repeat this process for as many lands as you have in your deck, and then cast something like Exsanguinate to kill your opponent. Problem is, like, you're generating black mana to just kill your opponent, and Exsanguinate's probably the way to do that. That's most effective. Pyrophobia, we're going to take down Mother Bear here. And we're going to attack in the air. Our opponent can block one because they have reach, but we're just going to Altar of Dementia to sack whatever they block. We're going to do the same thing next turn and use Pyrophobia to actually get rid of the Rot Widow pack. This makes it so their green mana is painful and they can't just activate Rot Widow pack a bunch. They play a Swamp. Turn off auto yields. Turn off auto yields. Opponent attacks us for 4. Sure, that does not matter. No blocks. You kill your own guy by doing this. But whatever. Sack our whole board. This also puts our opponent at 2. So we go to 12, then take 2. They crack Waterlogged Grove to draw a card. So basically any creature we have is Lethal Mill. It is not a creature. Pass the turn. They play a Talisman. And they attack for 2. Take us to 8. Any creature. Come on, any creature. They can exile a card from a graveyard. They go to 1. We lose a life. They can't do that again, though, and we can Pyrophobia the Spider to shorten our opponent's clock. Alright, we draw a Lancer Sliver. Play Lancer Sliver. Mill our opponent. And Pyrophobia the Spider. Pass the turn. Opponent draws out, and we win. Woo! That means we win round 1. Nice. Nice. Oh, actually, I have to take a quick bio break. I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. And let us continue with the league. Unexpected Tron. I like the sound of that. Do you know what card goes in Unexpected Tron? That card. Love to play first. Oh, that's probably good enough. We'll keep. Play planes, pass the turn. Opponent plays a swamp. Starts Outcast. We untap. Play planes, pass the turn. Opponent plays a mountain into a putrid goblin. Attacks for 1, we'll take it. You have a separate Warp World deck. Play Answered Prayers, pass the turn. I always found it went good in unexpected results lists with permanent-based ramp. Okay, opponent plays a Talisman of Creativity and the land. Gets in for 3. We untap, we draw a regular cohort. Play a regular cohort, gain some life, animate Answered Prayers, go to combat, attack for 3. We're going to gain a lot of life in these next couple of turns. Okay, opponent attacks for 3, we do not block. Because why would we? Opponent plays a swamp. 5 mana, they have a Thundering Djinn. Okay, we draw. Imposter of the 6th Pride. So we battle Screech. Then we battle Screech. Gain a whole bunch of life back and pass. Okay. Opponent plays an island. Five mana. Quakefoot Cyclops. Saying a creature cannot block this turn. Saying the Changeling cannot block this turn. Okay, opponent gets aggressive. Probably pings down a bird. Yep. Take a whole bunch of damage. Untap. Play planes. Play Spiteful Sliver. Play Imposter. Go to combat and attack with anything with the word flying on it. Hit our opponent for 6. Okay, they go to 11. Pass the turn. Opponent cycles a Forgotten Caves. This way they can kill Spiteful Sliver at the cost of 2 of their own life. But we're not really worried about the damage. We're gaining enough life to offset our opponent's damage and still deal damage to them. Yep. So they kill there. We'll deal 2 damage to their face. Because we can only target creatures or planeswalkers. Or we can only target planeswalkers or players, excuse me. No blocks. Take a bunch. I guess if my opponent has Volatile Claws, I'm dead, but they don't. So we're fine. Okay. But it ends up not playing anything. Battle Screech. Oops, Battle Screech. Go to combat. Big attack. We're probably dead on the backswing if this doesn't work, but this is our best chance at winning. All right. Versus our opponent's deck. I actually don't think we have a sideboard. I think we just run it back. Okay. Can't keep that. This is somewhat better. We'll keep. Put back Volatile Claws. Actually, put back Enduring Sliver. Put back Enduring Sliver. This will be fantastic if we can get out a full Battle Screech into Altar of Dementia Volatile Claws. That'll just mill our opponent out, which will be awesome. Imposter is a great way to start. Okay, opponent plays a tap land, gets in for 1, we go to 19. We will untap, play a mountain, play Imposter, pass the turn. Next turn we're going to land Altar of Dementia unless we have another creature. Okay, they have a Firebolt. So we say goodbye to the Imposter. Perhaps that means we should have played Altar first, just to have an outlet for anything that got played like this. But it does have something with Ninjutsu, and it's an Ingenious Infiltrator, which makes the mill plan that much more tempting. I'm actually going to play out an Altar of Dimension now. Okay, opponent attacks for 2. They hit us, they get to draw. Sling Gang Lieutenant. I'm not thrilled. Play a mountain, play Lancer Sliver. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent attacks. Chump a token. Opponent will sack that token so they can gain a life and still deal damage. Yep. They have another ninjutsu card. Moonblade Shinobi. That's a problem, but it's not unbeatable. It's just annoying. Okay. Opponent gets a blue illusory flyer and draws 2 cards. We untap. We draw a regular cohort, play planes. So a regular cohort propagates a ton of first striking blockers. The problem is my opponent has a firebolt they can flashback if they have another land. I wanted to battle Screech because that made more creatures. So my opponent does not pre-combat flashback Firebolt. They just attack for 1. Well, we can't block. Opponent gets to draw, make another blocker. Okay, opponent plays a Changeling Outcast. We untap. Play a Plains. Battle Screech. Flashback, Battle Screech. Pass the turn, and if we untap with a reasonable number of creatures, our opponent loses. So however our opponent attacks, we need to block with the minimum number of creatures that we can block with and still survive. Them having Sling Gang Lieutenant as well as a Changeling Outcast really sucks, especially because they can Cave of Temptation onto Changeling Outcast and guarantee 4 damage that way. Which means we basically need to block everything. Okay. Okay, well, we can't block, and our opponent is representing lethal off of Firebolt next turn. They draw a card. They go down to 22. They play a Changeling Outcast, and they can ping us for exactly 3 of those jerks, because Sling Gang Lieutenant can sack itself. If they didn't, we had lethal. Yep. Alright. No changes, we'll run it back. Alright, I'll play first. Mulligan. We can work with this, I think. We're gonna put back Volatile Claws. It's good to be on the play. Play Plains, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Mountain. We draw a Mountain, which is good, because that lets us play Lancer Sliver next turn. If my opponent has a blocker, we have an answer. Well, we have something that will allow us to continue to attack while playing creatures. Okay. Opponent plays a Putrid Goblin. Play a Mountain, play Lancer Sliver. And attack for 3 with First Strike. Opponent takes 3. As long as our opponent does not have removal this turn, we have an unlimited number of options next turn. We have an Ephemerate to save ourselves from any sort of removal. They can bounce Lancer Sliver here, which lets them attack with Putrid Goblin, so we'll take 2. We can play Lancer Sliver next turn and leave up Ephemerate, though, which is nice. Cleaving Sliver is nice, and if we draw another land, we can do the exact same thing next turn. Unfortunately, none of our creatures do things when they enter the battlefield. Otherwise, we could get even more value than we have right now. Okay, opponent plays a Talisman. And Firebolt. So we're going to Ephemerate in response. Opponent does not attack. We untap. We are not going to bounce anything right now. We draw Enduring Sliver. So play Cleaving Sliver. And attack for 9. Okay, opponent does chump this time. I only take 4. Okay, opponent passes, we untap. We draw an Imposter. So, Pyrophobia. I can't get rid of this now that I chose not to cast it. That's weird. Because it's not my exile zone. That's my exile zone. Weird that Moto makes a distinction. Go to combat. Attack. For a lot. Okay, opponent chumps the 5 power creature, takes 8 and goes to 2. Oh, they have something else. They have mob. Okay, they kill the first strike, take 4, go to 6. Does make it a lot harder to swing, but not impossible. We play another Imposter. Oh my god, I just realized. Warp World plus that multiple lands enter card that was just spoiled. Play planes, go to combat. Opponent casts an Urza's Rage. Sure. We hit them for 3. Play Enduring Sliver. Okay, if my opponent top decks a land, they can Firebolt down our Imposter and survive one more turn. If they don't do that, they have to have some other kind of answer. Okay, opponent plays a Graph Digger. Well, it's Grave Shifter, but Graph Digger with Changeling. Picking up Mana War, sure. We untap. Draw Sunbaked Canyon, get a redraw. And a Lava Belly Sliver guarantees lethal. So attack for 5. Opponent blocks the 3/1. They take 2 and go to 1. And Lava Belly Sliver lethal. Targeting our opponent. Gotcha. Well, we won our entry back. Time to go and see if we can win round 3. Oh, opponent says lol, rip, rip, rip. Alright, round 3. I did not expect us to get this far, honestly, with me having drank as much alcohol as I have, and playing a format I have not played yet prior to this. You have to figure out a way to beat Uropiles with Martyr proc. I don't know if Containment Priest does enough. We're going to keep this. We're on the draw, and if we get another land, this hand is amazing. Okay, opponent starts Changeling Outcast. Draw Sunbaked Canyon, play a mountain, pass the turn. They play another swamp and an Undead Augur, getting in for 1. We untap, play Sunbaked Canyon, and Imposter of the Sixth Pride. Pass the turn. Opponent attacks for 3. No blocks. They play an island and a Watcher for Tomorrow. Sure. Like, what in Uro piles is causing the problem, do you think? Do you think it's Uro? Okay, play a Silent Clearing. And Lava Belly Sliver. Ping our opponent for 1. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Okay, opponent goes to 16. Martyr proc. You don't want Gaze of Justice? Because you're playing so many dudes? Alright. We lose, and it's because we have both pain lands. It can just pivot so easily into a bunch of removal. I'm not super familiar with Martyr Proc. It's actually one of the decks I have the least experience with, though I am aware of it. Problem with Uro piles is they're like a teamer-ish control deck or a Bant control deck, which means they have tons of counter spells, lots of life gain, and either burn or white removal, and wraths. Lurrus main? That seems fun. Have you thought about maybe trying Ghostway or Faith's Reward or Faith's Reward versus like Wraths, I mean, but like Ghostway can blank removal, and if you have Enter the Battlefield triggers, which I'm not sure you do, it's mostly you're just trying to blank removal, right? There's no modern standard or flag bearer effect. Spellskite's probably not aggressive enough, plus you want white cards. Sand is only good if I draw more lands. I'm gonna keep. Start Planesgiver. Pass the turn. Okay, we draw Pyrophobia, which I'm going to use now, just because. Opponent did leave both cards on top. I don't know, that's really tough. I am still thinking about it. Play a mountain, play Lancer Sliver. Pass the turn. No attacks. It's too bad that there's no way to hate on extra lands being played really well. Alright, opponent has multiple Astrolabes. They play a swamp. And they defile Giver runes, so we're going to give Pro blue here. Because Giver cannot protect herself. We untap. We draw Lava Belly Sliver, which is thankfully something we can play. Drain our opponent for 1, attack them for 2 with First Strike. If it was damage-based removal, you could almost play something like Shining Shoal, but most of your spells are so cheap that it wouldn't do anything. And you don't want to be one-for-oneing with a deck that has tremendous card advantage with something like Apostle's Blessing. Maybe you could splash green and play something like Shaper's Sanctuary. Opponent has a Soul Herder, which is probably terribly bad news for us. Soul Herder getting a 1/1 counter, and with Watcher drawing a card, or effectively impulsing every turn. We untap. We draw a mountain, so play Cleaving Sliver. Ping our opponent for 1, swing for 8. Just use Mana Tithe. Have we punted any tonight? Oh, tons, dude. I drank 24 ounces of 8% beer. I'm feeling pretty good. So no doubt the punts have been flowing. Just use Mana Tithe. It's fine. So opponent has to flicker a creature. They flicker Mist Syndicate Naga. We untap, we draw. Answered Prayers. We can cast nothing in our hand. Well, time to flunge. No worries, man. I know you got stuff that you gotta deal with. It's cool. Millhouse. Oh gosh. The opponent has to have some kind of combat trick here. Oh, it's Mob. They take out the first striker, which means we lose our team. And I think we just lost. But it plays a Swamp. I always forget to play around Mob in this format simply because the Convoke makes it hard. It's one of the few Convoke cards that exist in Modern Horizons. They flicker an Endling. Oops. Do not need to do that in our upkeep. Play a Plains. We'll play Answered Prayers. Pass the turn. We can play Battle Screech to gain life and animate Answered Prayers. Then we'll have Flyers. We can't flash it back in the same turn, which is when it would be most good. Opponent plays Spring Bloom Druid. Probably because they need Snowlands, and this is a good way to get Snowlands in this format. I mean, they don't currently need Snowlands, but as far as their deck construction goes. They're like, Bone is the master at Kano supervision. Alright, opponent attacks for 7. They pump Endling. We take 8. GRB1P, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Glad to have you here, and you're a wonderful human being. His opponent flickers Spring Bloom Druid. And gets more lands. We untap. We draw Pyrophobia. Well, time to Battle Screech. Gain some life. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Take your opponent to 4 and pass the turn. Opponent plays a Mana War. Unsummoning a bird. They have to have one more piece of removal, or we win? That's removal. Sad face. Opponent attacks for a lot, actually. No blocks. That's 9. They can go 10, 11, 12. 10, 11, I guess. And we're going to go to 2. Okay. Opponent can flicker. Probably Spring Bloom Druid. Yeah, it looks like that's the case. We untap. We draw a regular cohort. So play a regular cohort. Unfortunately, we cannot also Pyrophobia, and we cannot flashback Battle Screech. So we really have no choice but to attack our opponent down to 1 here. And I think if our opponent has anything, we're just dead on the backswing. No, we're dead on board. They have a creature with menace. If they see it. Alright, opponent got us. A long weekend in order this weekend? Labor Day, right? I actually don't know if I have Labor Day off or not. I don't remember. I have to go check. Well, we got through one Modern Horizons Supreme Draft relatively unscathed. We got our entry back, which is what matters. Does anyone have a modern deck they want me to play for some 2-mans? Do you guys want to brew with Unexpected Results Tron? Or what do you guys want to see? Oh, I know what you want, Kano. Or, Joe West. Making me half respond, half read your comment. Kano talking to himself. I mean, I know you guys are watching me and I'm entertaining you, but from my perspective, I am just talking out loud in front of a computer in a basement by myself, with the exception of my sleeping dog. So I kind of had to be mentally okay with projecting to nobody. You know what I mean? There's nobody here. You guys are on the other side of the internet from me. I don't think I have the brain power for Battle of Wits right now. So we're going to try and make an edit to Unexpected Tron. Just to see. Wow, okay. Eldrazi. What Eldrazi do we have? And in what numbers? Type colorless. Or colorless, excuse me. Alright. I only have one Emrakul. I probably only have one of those Ulamogs. I only have one. I only have two Nulamogs. Easy board fix Veil of Summer? Yes, but we have to make the main deck work first. How many big do I really only have one big Emrakul? I really only have one big Emrakul. Okay. So here's what we do. We max out on Omniscience. And we play Warp World. And then we play... Do I really not have Blast of Genius? Ugin? I do have Karn. Both big and small. I'm going to cut Blast of Genius. I don't like it in this deck, because it doesn't instantly kill our opponent. We're going to cut the Dictates of Karametra for Veils. And we're going to cut Negate. For Weather the Storms. And we're going to cut the Mountains and Stomping Grounds to make our mana slightly more consistent. We're basically just going to replace them with forests. And one... Waterlogged Grove, because I've got it. Alright. Unexpected Tron. Let's try this out. We're very quickly going to run into some sort of weakness of the deck, but that's the important part while brewing. We have to identify why the deck doesn't work. Other than the fact that it's probably bad. It'll be a rough one. Yeah, but we're going into that expecting it. We'll play first. Almost. We're going to mulligan. We need 2 lands. Alright. This works. This is a turn 3 unexpected results. And most of Tron, so... we're going to put back... I guess Ulamog. Starters is mine. Pass the turn. Oh no, this is turn 3 unexpected results if and only if we draw a land. Alright, opponent plays Inspiring Vantage, lending to the fact that they are probably burn. We get our last Tron piece because we are always on the natural Tron draw. Opponent plays a Sunbaked Canyon. Hashtag just Tron things. Play Power Plant. Play Unexpected Results. Here we go. Urza's mine. We'll play it, put Unexpected Results back in our hand. Pass turn. So Unexpected Results has that whole if you hit a land thing going on. Oh gosh, Blood Moon? Molten Rain, taking us off of Tron. Well, the good news is we still have the mana to Unexpected Results. And that's what matters. Cast Warp World. Alright, we are significantly worse for wear after that, but our opponent lost all of their lands. Oh man, alright. Well, we get to play a Simic Signet. And we still have 2 Tron pieces. Opponent discards Storm Breath and Chandra. We'll play Simic Signet. Pass the turn. We need to draw an unexpected results. Opponent scries off of Maze Mind Tome, leaving a card on top. Alright, they play a Flagstones, attack for 4. We go to 14, and we untap. Waterlogged Grove, play it. Pass the turn. I am going to crack that to draw, but not this turn. Opponent scries and scries again. Leaving a card on top the second time. Looks like they're looking for a land. Or something else, perhaps. They attack for 4. We take 4, go to 10. Sacred Foundry, untapped. Suppression Field. Sack to draw. Okay. Untap. Omniscience. Well, players is mine. Pass the turn. Opponent attacks for 4. We take 4, go to 6. Opponent booms a land of ours. Sure. We're still basically on unexpected results or bust. Urza's Tower. If they hadn't gotten rid of that land, we would have had 11 mana and could have cast Kozilek. Pass the turn. Does our opponent have a bolt? Are we dead to bolt? They hit us for 4. We go to 2. Opponent has untapped red mana. Stone Rain. Okay, unexpected results. Let's go. Simic Signet. Not an unexpected result. How very unfortunate. Okay, sideboard time versus red-white land destruction / denial. Probably Nature's Claim. We can go down. You know what? No, I'm not gonna sideboard versus this deck. We did get a couple of looks at unexpected results that game. We just didn't happen to hit what we needed to off of unexpected results or Warp World. Talking about the fetch land reprint? No, I did not. They're basically only as expeditions, right? And that's not going to be enough to change their prices. They needed to be printed in a standard legal booster as a standard legal card. basically in order to do anything to their prices. And this should not count as a reprint for a fetch land. I can tell you that much. Only one land or I would keep. Oh my god. Same. I will keep this, however. We're going to put back Warp World and Ulamog. Opponent starts Gemstone Caverns. We start Power Plant. Pass the turn. We need to draw a Simic Signet. Okay, opponent plays an Inspiring Vantage into a Maze Mind Tome. We untap and we draw Expedition Map. Everyone needs to stop criticizing everything. Yeah, I kind of get sick of the constant negativity. I can't always handle it, so I try and stay disconnected from almost as many things as I possibly can. Simply because I, as a person and human being, cannot handle it all the time. Play a forest, pass the turn. Opponent scries with the tome. So I found Pleasant Kenobi when he just was starting to get big before he signed on to Channel Fireball and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, this guy's kind of cool. I like the memes. And then I discovered that I don't like Pleasant Kenobi. I don't like him. I don't like his mannerisms, and I don't like his content. And that's not to say he's a bad content creator or anything. I'm sure he's a really awesome dude. And I don't really have anything bad to say about him at all. I just don't personally like his content. And that's okay. People like different things. I've actually even been described as a person who is for the most part, PG rated Pleasant Kenobi for some of my content, which I thought was kind of interesting. But I think it's just because I make memes. I don't know. But, ooh, Urza's mine. So we have Tron now, because we unexpected results into Tron. I don't know. I started off kind of not directionalized in this line of thought, so please don't take this as oh my god, Kano hates Pleasant Kenobi. It's just, I don't enjoy his content. I think he's cool, and I liked it at one point, but I don't enjoy his content currently. Opponent Molten Rain's Tower. Joke's on you. I have a backup tower. Get him, Karn. Exile that land. Pass the turn. Oh, man. That was gross. Opponent conceded. Oh, unexpected results. Coming in with a haymaker of a Tron land that we didn't have. Alright, this is effectively a mulligan to 3, so let's mulligan to 6, shall we? Much better. No unexpected results, but 2 Tron pieces, Simic Signet, I will keep, I think. I mean, that's fair. That's a fair view of him. Start Urza's mine, pass the turn. It plays a Cascading Cataracts into a Maze Mine Tome. Sometimes my mental state can't handle the negativity. I feel like you described so much of a lot of people's opinions. We'll play Simic Signet this turn. This way, even if we get land destruction... I try and keep it positive on stream. I also don't like Hoogland, but for different reasons. I think he's probably a good person and probably a cool content creator, but I personally can't watch him. You know what? I don't think I actually enjoy consuming Magic content. I think I just discovered this about myself. Because I was like, what kind of Magic content creator do I like watching? And the answer is none. And I don't mean that in a bad way at all, because I use different Magic content creators as like pools for generation. I understand that it's I like Seth, but I can't watch him. I can't watch him because I get like bored or I have to like do other things while I'm watching, and I can't listen to Seth either. That's the thing. And I'm not saying this because of like the way he talks or anything like that. It's just I don't enjoy it. And I should. Like, you know, if I was watching something, I should enjoy it. And I guess I just don't like consuming Magic the Gathering content. You know, I'll watch. Oh, you know, I do like a Magic the Gathering content creator. Caleb Gannon. Caleb Gannon taught me how to do Vintage Cube. And I love that style of content so much, and I thought Vintage Cube was so cool that I started doing Vintage Cube, which started popularizing my channel. So, Caleb Gannon, you're the only Magic content creator I can watch and enjoy. I'm sorry to every other Magic content creator. I love you because we all love the same game, but I can't watch most of you, and it's nothing personal. Unexpected results. What do we get? Sakura Tribe Elder. A land and everything but name. Pass the turn. Did I know that Basic Landshark streams? I did not know that Basic Landshark streams. Maybe, wait. There is a Magic, a person who shows up here that I occasionally, like, I raided one time, and it might have been him. You posted in the Abzan Facebook page the other day, and you were like, holy shit. That's kind of cool. I didn't know that. Marin Moon or Marin Dragon. I don't know. Maven Dragon. I don't know what her current handle is, so I apologize if I offend anybody that knows of her. I have not kept up. I just like vaguely see Twitter posts by them occasionally. They're really cool. They actually rated my channel with like 50 viewers one time, and it was super dope, and I really appreciate that. So we're going to crack Expedition Map, and we are going to get, I don't know, a random Tron land and play it. Pass the turn. And I like the idea of not openly outing my full personal name as Six Sigma, so I was pretty shocked and happy to see that he makes content but couldn't do much about it. Fair. You know what? That's fair. That's cool. I respect that. That's like, I have a ton of people that watch me that actually know me personally in real life. And it's not possible to keep my two identities secret because I've used this handle for so long. Are we planning on doing raids and such? If I get enough people and I find a content creator that I'm like, you know, I'm not above paying back to content creators that I get ideas from. I would definitely raid some people with like a group of people and do like either cast the game that they're playing, I think would be fun on my own channel, while giving them viewership. Or I don't know. I'm not really sure how that works because I've never done it personally. I've never had enough people to do that. But I think it would be cool to like give back to anybody who's given me any ideas and give them viewership. Are we taking 4? I just realized I've been, like, autopiloting this game. We've been 2 mana off of a Karn liberated, but he wouldn't really help too much from this position. Opponent plays a suppression field. Okay. We draw an expedition map. We have enough mana to crack it, too. You know, one of my first experiences streaming on Twitch, I was rated by a pro Magic player while I was playing Battle of Wits in Modern. And this was like 6 or 7 years ago. This is like, I streamed like a few times on weekends when I was in college. And I had a viewership of 55 people. And I was like, oh my god, this is my peak as a Magic streamer. I think this is insane. Like, that was a really cool feeling. So I think I would also do, like, I would raid people that have almost no viewers. You were right about the peak. It's all been downhill after that. Oh man. You're right, Six Sigma. Absolutely destroyed. Alright, we gotta concede. Alright. Unexpected Tron. I think this deck has potential. Just seeing what, like, I was able to play through with that. A couple of notes for me when I watch this back and I'm more sober and less rambly. You showed up, Joesh showed up, Daddy had set and everyone left. No, I really hope that I haven't peaked. I hope that hope there's a lot more content to come because I really enjoy making it. I really enjoy Magic and I like sharing. A watchful moderator, Joest from the shadows. He's like Batman. So a couple of notes for this deck for when I'm sober. Warp World is fantastic. The problem is we only ever have like 4 permanents on the battlefield when we play it. If we could get like 2 or 3 more permanents onto the battlefield, like if we played more signets, I think this deck would be better. All right, go for it. I'll read it in a moment. This deck needs a real sideboard. It probably needs less of a mishmash of giant Eldrazi and more ways to get up to casting a profitable unexpected results in Warp World. I think that's what this deck needs, is to focus less on giant heavy things and more ramp. That is, I don't know what that means, but that is really concerning. I advise you to seek some therapy that isn't Kano. Anyway, what is your Kano engagement question, Six Sigma? I will do my best to answer it. I don't blame you. Jesus. You know, I love my chat, but like sometimes my okay. So if all of the regulars and yourself were superheroes / villains, based on what you know about us, who would we be? Oh man, that's a tough one. And there's a lot of regulars, right? So let's do this logically, right? Oz. Oz would be Captain America. Because he's the guy that's been around forever, playing Magic longer than any of us have. And he's the old timer, and he knows what the golden years were like. So he's Captain America. Let's see, I would be Thor. I just feel like I would be Thor. Jawest and Six Sigma. You guys are like, oh, who would you be? Okay, Raelin would be Batman. Because Raelin always has shit together, knows what he's doing, always has a plan. Bone Daddy would be like... Oh, shoot. Who would Bone Daddy be? Probably have to be one of the high-up villains. Or, like, neutral characters. Daddy is Alfred. Hyper capable, wealthy in his own right, and assistant to Batman. Not, I mean, like, maybe not the last part if Raelin's Batman, but yeah. So Oz is Captain America. I'm Thor. Raelin's Batman. You and Jawest, you guys are like... You're a tag team, and you work well together. I'm trying to think of a good like duo that isn't obviously Batman and Robin. I'm trying to think of a good like teamwork team. I'll come back to that. No, 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 no. That's not what it is. All right, and I think with that, we're going to end the stream. Oh. I don't know if I've peaked, but this stream VOD has. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I did. I'm sorry the stream was a little bit shorter. It's only 2.5 hours instead of the usual like 3.5. Don't worry, it's gonna all go on YouTube. I upload stream VODs now. But I'm tired. I've got other stuff I've got to do after sobering up. So I'm always glad to get to stream for you guys. Next week's Give Us the Hero Names. I'll put some thought into it. And I'll come up with something. Jawest, I haven't forgotten about your card altars, by the way. I just have to find where I put the cards. They're in my apartment, townhome, somewhere. I also have something that I'm working on for Bone Daddy that I'm going to send to him, too. But I have to get my 3D printer working for that, and it's currently broken. Not functioning optimally. I don't think I have anything else. But I want you guys to know that I'm always happy to stream for you, and it makes it a ton of fun to be able to do it. You guys never fail to make me laugh. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!